What's up, brand builders? Stephen Hurahan here at brandmasteracademy.com, and in this video we're going to look at the brand boycott of Facebook. We're going to look at what's happening, why it's happening, and what this means for brands, their evolution, their strategies, and the relationships that they have with their consumers. Now, in case you've missed it, which you probably haven't, Facebook are under massive scrutiny at the moment, and they're on the receiving end of a boycott from some of the biggest brands in the world who are pulling their ad spend. And this is all due to their mishandling of misinformation and hate speech. Now, this is all on the back of a post from Donald Trump saying, when the looting starts, the shooting starts. And this isn't the first time that Facebook has come under scrutiny for their hands-off approach to the hate speech and the content that's shared on their platform. And Mark Zuckerberg himself has really taken a hands-off approach to the content that's shared on Facebook and has suggested that it's not his role or Facebook's role to filter the content going through because of freedom of speech. Now, this has given birth to the Stop Hate for Profit campaign, where individuals and organizations have been calling on brands to stop Facebook profiting from this type of speech in boycotting their advertising platform. And this has led to major brands over the last week or two pulling their ad spend from the Facebook platform and really showing solidarity and supporting that Stop Hate for Profit campaign. And some of these brands include Coca-Cola, Levis, Lululemon, North Face, Patagonia, Starbucks, Unilever, and Verizon. Now, these boycotts are starting to gain a bit of momentum, and it's starting to have a bit of a snowball effect. And Mark Zuckerberg has since backtracked on his initial stance, and he's come out and said that Facebook will no longer allow ads claiming that people from a specific race, ethnicity, religious affiliation, sexual orientation, or immigration status are a threat to others. And he's also said that Facebook will hide or block content considered hateful or that could harm voting, with no exception to politicians. And all of this is pointing to the fact that brands have power, and certainly big brands coming together have massive power and they can instigate change. And this is not being lost on the consumer. Now, no doubt you will have tons of videos that will get into the nitty-gritty and the political side of this issue, but I want to focus more on the branding side because there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of changes that have happened over the last 10 to 20 years that have led us to a place where brands now are getting into the political arena. So I want to have a look at that evolution and what that means for brands going forward. So back in the mid-90s, when we had this digital transformation and we had the millennial going online for the first time, going into chat rooms and having conversations on email, and then social media came about, and all of a sudden the consumer had a voice. They had a powerful voice, and they had a powerful voice in numbers. And that was the transition and the power shift from brands to consumers. So brands had gone unchecked for so many years where they were able to just broadcast information. They were able to go about their business and have whatever policies and procedures in place without really having any kind of voice to answer to. But then, as I said, the millennial took that power from those brands. They went onto social media, they went online, and all of a sudden they had a voice and they were making decisions and influencing brands through their wallets. Now, over time, brands started to realize that the power shift really had changed the relationship between them and their customers, and they needed to meet their audience on the front line. They needed to engage their audience with a human voice, and that's where brand personality has really taken off in the last 10 years or so. And what we're seeing now, we're seeing the evolution of brands, and we're seeing brands become much more of a human entity. And that's led us to where we are today, where these brands now have become an extension of the consumers. Consumers and brands are now on the same team, and all of a sudden the consumer has a very powerful voice in their brand to go out and represent them. Now, where this is going in the future and what that future looks like, I'm not exactly sure. What brands look like in the future, I'm not exactly sure, but they are definitely becoming more and more human, and they are representing now their consumer on the front lines. And consumers and the wider public now are realizing that they have a very powerful ally in the brands that they do business with. So this is a really important moment in the evolution of brands and the roles that they're taking on. They have really gone into bed with their consumers now, and they are representing their consumers on the front line. And where people have looked to religious leaders and political leaders for change, now they're starting to look towards brands. But I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on what this means for brands going forward. Do you believe that brands should be entering the political arena, and would you look towards the brands that you do business with to go out and have an opinion in that political arena? I'd really love to hear from you. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are, what your opinions are, what your questions are, if you have any. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell as well. It'll let you know when we've got new videos coming out. If you want actionable brand strategy tips and techniques, head on over to BrandMasterAcademy.com and get yourself signed up for the list. It is free, and I do keep some exclusive content for that list, and there are plenty of resources on there if you want to build brand strategies from scratch that can help you. But as I said, I'd love to hear from you what your thoughts are. Let me know in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer all of those. Until next time, brand like a master, and I will see you in the next video.